Hello everyone, I'm Randy Klenosky, Crime Prevention Specialist for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Summerlin Area Command. Today you're going to be finding us out with one of our partners here in the Valley. Summerlin Area Command is the 10th and newest area command we opened up in January of 2020. Our area command comprises of over 70 square miles and it's nestled in the Spring Mountains and the Red Rock Canyon Basin. Today we find us out here at Wet and Wild, one of our great partners in the community. Joining me today is going to be Sergeant Brian Leahy of our community-oriented policing unit and Cory Wynn, the Director of Operations out here at Wet and Wild. Sarge, I'm going to start with you, but what brings us out here for our Summer of Safety?
Thanks, Randy. Well, I'm very excited to be out here and partner with Wet and Wild, who's now in Summerlin's boundaries for the new station. So this is terrific. This topic is so important because as a patrol officer for many years and a street supervisor, Metro have seen so many incidents turn bad so quickly for such a fun event. Going to a pool, a backyard pool, or something where there's no dedicated lifeguard like you have at Wet and Wild can turn so quickly. I've been out on calls where they've actually literally had drownings happen or partial drownings where they recognize it very quickly and pull them out, but it's a silent killer. And quite frankly, we want to make sure that everyone knows of how quickly it can happen and that it can happen anywhere. So Metro pushes out the ABCDs of pool safety. A is for adult supervision. The key is if someone's going to go inside as an adult, they have to make sure they know who the next adult that's watching the kids before they go inside and lose track of the kids. B is barriers, so that these kids, you know how quickly they can move. The barrier can stop them like a fence around a pool. C is for classes. Classes on swim lessons for the kids or CPR for you so you can do some preventive measures just in case something happens. And D is going to be devices like life jackets that Cory's going to go over in a second. Things like this will help you be able to protect your children, your children's friends, and make sure that you can enjoy the pool in a safe and happy way.
That's great information, Sarge. I mean, we always think about how fun water is and bodies of water, and we have our community pools, people have their personal pools, we've got Lake Mead, and then we got this lovely facility here at Wet and Wild. You know, Cory, as the Director of Operations, what is it that you do here at Wet and Wild, and what got you into this line of work?
Well, what I do here is first and foremost is make sure that we're operating safely and in a clean environment at all times. You know, we can see sometimes 250,000 people here in one season. My goal is that whether or not you're a little bit sunburned, maybe a little bit waterlogged, hopefully a little bit more tired, anyone who comes into this park, they leave healthy, safe, and sound. I got into this personally because at the age of 12, I drowned. I was in a local community pool and I was with my sister. There was no lifeguard on duty. And I was attempting to hold my breath for as long as I could, and I was successful for about 3.5 minutes before my sister actually pulled me out of the water. And I came to from unconsciousness and spent some time in the hospital. It has since then become really, really important to me that I share these tips on safety, that I make sure that people who come into these parks, that they don't endure the same battle for recovery from a drowning that I did. And that has influenced my career, that has brought me to where I am right now. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to work in a water park either, where 90% of the time you're hearing people have fun.
Great. Wow. It's great. I mean, the passion in your voice, it really parlays, and that personal story really, really hits home. You know, we talk about the ABCs and Ds, and, you know, but we're in law enforcement. You're a water safety professional. Is there anything that we may have missed that our viewers at home can benefit from?
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you talk about life jackets, life-saving devices, you know, I always like to recommend that you get one that is U.S. Coast Guard approved. You'll see a lot of kids that have these water wings that are inflatable, and they can lose their inflation. And on top of that, if you're using sunscreen combined with water, it's very slippery, very easy for those to pop off. So I do not recommend those. I actually like U.S. Coast Guard approved devices. And you can tell they're so by the stamp that you see on the inside of each and every single one. You guys were also talking about barriers. Well, when you're done swimming in the pool, if it's your local pool, your backyard pool, take out all the toys. That is an attractant for those little kids. And you want to make sure that they're not attracted to try and get back into it once that adult supervision has left. And then quite telling is this sign right here behind me is shallow water, no diving. It is all too easy for people to misjudge the depth of a body of water and decide to dive in and end up injured possibly for the rest of their life. So those are just 3 additional tips that I'd like to add to your ABCDs.
Thanks a lot, Cory. Those are some great tips for us all to follow. Well, that's a wrap for us today out here at Wet and Wild. We're going to go ahead and get changed into our swimsuits and maybe hit the big slide. But thanks for joining us at the Summerlin Area Command Summer of Safety. Excellence. It all starts with you.